This episode is brought to you by the Clifford Still Museum. Discover big art and new perspectives at the Clifford Still Museum. Experience the critically acclaimed exhibition, Tell Clifford I Said Hi, on view now through May 10th. Enjoy upcoming events at the museum, including First Friday Pay What You Wish days, monthly meditation sessions, guided tours, film screenings, infant art crawls, and more. During your visit to the Still, find a world-class collection gifted to the city of Denver, award-winning architecture, and a welcoming place for everyone to relax and recharge. The Still is open from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m., Tuesday through Sunday. Children 17 and under are always free. Buy tickets and learn more at cliffordstillmuseum.org. Today is Friday, February 13th. I'm Bree Davies, and here's what Denver's talking about. Welcome to CityCast Denver, the show about the state where our biggest higher education institution, CU Boulder, is no longer supporting the email addresses of their alumni. Sean, you are a CU Boulder alumni, are you?
I am, yeah.
Do you use your CU Boulder email address?
No, Ralphie, it was like ralphie.edu or something. I can't remember.
That must have been the earliest iteration.
Yeah, I was like, you had your name?
No, Ralphie's their mascot.
Yeah.
Is like the buff.
I want to say it was like Sean at ralphie.edu.
What? Because now it's like at CU Boulder or something. But
mine was a bunch of in Missouri, but mine was a bunch of letters and my initials parsed in with a bunch of numbers.
Well, I've seen a couple people online be very upset that they're losing their alumni email, and I'm like, I didn't even ever log into my Metro email. So
what?
I
In
mean,
school?
You know how I am with email.
Yeah,
Terrible about it.
It tracks.
When we would access it at kiosks and stuff, like in the music building, there'd be this little, Mac 2 or whatever, and you'd have to stand there and log in and
wait your turn to check your email. I know. I was like, Olivia went to college during the pandemic. And I was thinking when I was writing this, I was like, wait, did Sean even have an email address? Because I was like, I was on the very beginning of email right when I started college in 1998. It was like my first email address. So I wondered for you.
Yeah. I mean, that was like when I was just finishing up college then. So that's like when we got our first email.
And Olivia was being born, to be fair.
I was like, I think my mom made me an email address like when she was like first I also like literally had a children's email account, which was a thing. It was called My Kids Safe Mail. And my mom could put in who I could email. Because like I was like, I'm trying to email people. I'm 10, but I'm online.
I mean, you had a very robust hermit crab blog. You needed an email
I needed to be able to be contacted, but I couldn't be contacted by just anyone. It was only my mom approved contacts. So,
I'm glad we've all revealed our ages through our email addresses. My first email that I used was lethallolita@hotmail.com.
Oh my God.
Dang.
It was a Red Ants song, to be fair. It was a reference to a Red Ants song, but thinking about it now, I'm like, what would I be doing? What was I doing with that email address? Who was I emailing?
Your MySpace boyfriend?
Yeah, that's true. We just messaged on MySpace. Shout out to my MySpace boyfriend. Well, I'm Bree Davies. It's Friday. We're looking back at the big news of the week, from the Underground Music Showcase leaving South Broadway to more wacky ideas for the 16th Street Mall, and of course, our wins and fails of the week. We're coming to you from the beautiful Dude IDK Studios in 5 Points. You've heard her voice. Producer Olivia Jewel Love is here. Hi, Olivia.
Hello.
And we have a great guest today. You've also heard his voice. He's the drummer and a founding member of Devotchka, my friend Sean King. Hi, Sean.
Hey.
Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me, you guys.
So I wanted to have you on in particular because you guys have a big show this weekend.
We're back at the Boulder Theater. It's been years since we've been there. I want to say it was like maybe 2018.
Oh, wow.
Was the last time we were there, like pre-pandemic. And it's good to be back because we used to do Halloweens there a lot.
I was going to say, you guys do Valentine's, Halloween, New Year's. You love the holidays?
Yeah. That was like a decision early on, and I think it's like been a good thing because then people know. And we did take New Year's off this year.
Yeah, that's true.
Not mad at that.
I bet your wife wasn't mad about that either.
No, it was pretty nice.
That's always like the conundrum too, because Greg, same thing. He'll be like, guess what we're doing for New Year's? I'm like, going to your show.
Yeah. Oh, people don't really get that, like, that when they're in that party mode and they're standing at the stage, they don't realize that their voices travel, and there's not this wall. Like, they've broken.
You can hear them,
they've
is what
broken
you're
the
saying.
fourth wall for us. Like, they're just making it their thing, part of the night. And
have you heard some interesting things that way?
yeah, I mean, there's just like full conversations going on, like, you know, between songs, during songs. It's wild. Yeah. So it's always just like a different vibration that night.
Yeah.
And there's like a weird desperation to like have this incredibly good time and
Have your midnight kiss.
yeah.
Yes,
there's that
a lot of
too.
pressure.
There's that.
It is a lot of pressure, though, to have
Yeah.
a good time,
Yeah.
which is a lot to put on a show, too. But
Well, if there's enough like champagne and stuff, it's gonna be a good show.
That's
Like
true.
I'm gonna have a good time if drinks are flowing. I like the people there. Like it's gonna be great. Or if it's bad, it'll be fun to talk about later. I'll be like, remember that terrible show?
That's true. That's true. People always remember, I saw so and so on New Year's. So that's good.
yeah. Oh, well, before we get to the show, we have a little bit of business to take care of. So, our company, CityCast itself, has a brand new podcast. Tomorrow and every Saturday from here on out, you'll get a little something extra in your podcast feed. It's a new show that we have called Your City Could Be Better. It's hosted by our CEO, David Plotz. You may know him from Political Gabfest already. He's a longtime podcaster. And I will be on that show sometimes. He'll be talking to the hosts of all of the CityCasts across the network. So, I don't know if you have any thoughts about that you want us to address that maybe we bring to our Your City Could Be Better show. I know we'll be looking for ideas. Olivia?
It'll be dropping in your feed on Saturday. And it should also have its own separate feed, but every week there will be a new episode with one of the hosts from one of the CityCast cities. The first one is with Minneapolis. So
Yes.
if you've been curious about what is going on there, our Twin Cities host will be on that episode.
Sean will be on that episode.
So check that out. Let us know what you think. And yeah, hope you enjoy it.
Check out CityCast Twin Cities also, just for great on-the-ground
Check
reporting.
out every CityCast city that exists.
all 13 of us.
Thanks.
All right, top story. UMS, it's back. We talked about this earlier in the week, but I think the conversation kept going. I saw a lot of hems and haws, and also excitement and trepidation from all sorts of people, from fest goers to people that book the festival to musicians themselves, with this news that the Rhino Business Improvement District will be buying a stake in the festival, and the plans are to move it off of South Broadway and into 5 Points. Sean, you've literally played this festival since the beginning, right?
Since the beginning.
Like, Devotchka headlined the first year.
That's right.
I think I read it was like 4 bands for $5.
Yeah, I get it a little mixed up. I think John Moore was telling me that it was like that they had this bill put together in Boulder, and they just said, okay, well, let's just call this like the Underground Music Showcase, because it was like the winners of like the best underground bands.
And that
So-
was you guys in 2001?
I guess so, or 2002, 2001. I can't really remember, but
And you mentioned John Moore, one of the co-founders of the original festival. So I was thinking back to last year when there was this uncertainty about, is the festival going to continue? You guys were the last band to play
last band, last night.
the potential last
Yeah.
UMS. And I remember being backstage with y'all, and it was just very surreal.
Yeah, it was surreal. I mean, it was a bummer. I mean, that was just weird. My cousin came out from Minneapolis, and he was like, yes, this is super rad. What's going on? Why would this end? And I was like, dude, I don't know.
That's what everyone was thinking at the
Yeah.
festival. Everyone was like, what? It seems fine. Like from a perspective of just people hanging out there, it's like, what's wrong?
Yeah.
The crowd was like super into
Yeah.
it. People were coming on stage at the end.
It's
like,
well organized as like a person going to it. Like it's pretty easy to figure it out and like get in there, and there's nothing that's glaring of like, oh, this is very, mismanaged from a like event goer perspective. It's like pretty.
It felt like the whole corridor too was just like lit that weekend.
Oh, yeah.
And even like extending up towards downtown and stuff. But yeah, I wonder I mean, you're following this, like,
Yeah.
what's the whole vibe about, like, moving off of
I see
Broadway?
excitement and fear and just people being pissed, I think, is the other thing. Is some business owners really loved this event. I know for some business owners it wasn't as fruitful, depending on how people were maybe interacting with your business and depending on what kind of business you have. You know, if you're a venue or a bar, great. But if you're a store, it might have been a little bit different. But I did see a couple of business owners being very bummed that they were maybe kind of learning this for the first time too, that they weren't going to have this festival in their neighborhood. I mean, it brings a certain amount of clout, I think, to a neighborhood. It really established itself there. I don't know. I mean, again, Sean, you've been participating in this thing for years. What do you think about this move from South Broadway to a whole new part of town that it's just different?
I don't know. It is different, but maybe they'll be able to shut the streets down. Like,
yeah,
that would be huge.
That
like,
was a huge problem
to make it feel like a festival more. I mean, cars zipping by on Broadway with like so many people out was definitely not a good fit for a street festival happening on two sides of a street.
Yeah.
So that'd be the first thing they could get right.
Yes.
And
I should say they tried. It wasn't that organizers hadn't tried. It's just trying to shut off a
It is
main
very hard in
thoroughfare.
Denver. In Denver, like the amount, even Santa Fe Arts, for First Fridays couldn't get it done. It's expensive. It requires, all the barricades. It requires the police presence.
It requires rerouting a huge amount of traffic for a street
so
like
much,
a Broadway or
so
Santa
much
Fe.
goes into it. But so many events would be made so much better by having this happen.
Yeah.
Like literally just would elevate them all so much.
I was thinking about this if it does move to 5 Points and to Rhino, as folks call it, because like the 2900 block of Larimer was shut down during the pandemic and people loved that.
Yeah.
So you're right. Could they do that again? And could that be the thing that actually makes the festival better from a safety perspective? Absolutely.
Yeah. And who knows? Maybe there's ways to activate that space differently too. I mean, not just like the basics, like a mobile bar or whatever, but like what could be in those spaces to just bring it together more. I don't know. I don't know if they're going to be able to. With anything, it's like when someone makes a solo record from a band, it's like you're not guaranteed that all the fans from this band are going to go and listen to that solo record. I kind of wonder if it's the same thing where I don't know. We'll find out soon enough, but like how much of it is South Broadway and how much of it is the fact that like I know that I can go see a lot of bands there, and how much of it is just the fact that like there's so many bands, because I've seen a lot of the behind the scenes and like hundreds of bands apply to be at the UMS.
Yeah.
So they even just applying, like you're already kind of invested, so they want to go and they want to see their friends who got in. So I think for a bunch of people it won't matter that
it's moved.
It's moved.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I was talking to one of my friends who's in a band that's played at UMS a few times, and she was like, ultimately we're losing it altogether would just be, devastating to the city.
Just the festival being gone.
She was like, the fact that we are going to continue to have it is the most important thing. She was like, to me, as someone who performs at it, she's like, because major cities have music festivals.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And she was like, if we lose this, like this is our established one right now. She's like, if we lose this, what's setting us, are we even like contending with other cities?
Well, and if something takes its place, is it going to, I mean, and folks would argue this point, but would it continue to have the local focus that it has?
Well, and also it's got that name
have.
recognition by this point. Like everyone knows the UMS in the summer.
Yeah.
And like losing that long-time name recognition, I think would be harmful to the, just the clout of the city having that.
Especially as a place that's known for live music. I mean,
it's kind of wild how like we're known for live music and like that's really it.
The like big festival wise.
Yeah.
But how much of it is like being brought in? I mean, like if you look at even just look at the openers for all the shows that are happening at the Mission, how many of those openers are local? I mean, that used to be a thing with the Bluebird back in the day, and it's going to make me sound old, but if if Low played, there'd be like a local duo opener, and that would be a similar vibe to that show. Or like,
Right.
you know, so many great shows I've seen at the Bluebird have had that kind of dynamic.
Yeah.
Of like, you come in, we'll put a local opener on, it'll sell out, everyone will be stoked.
That was my friend's concern too. She was like, you know, from the rumblings I've heard, she was like, it doesn't sound like smaller local bands are going to have as much of a chance now. I would assume like probably because of the loss of Youth on Record is part of that. You know, they were really stewarding smaller, younger bands in for, you know, I just remember seeing so many of their like students at Youth on Record performing at UMS, and I just wonder if we're still going to see that or not.
Yeah, especially from the youth component. I would say from just a slightly older level, like Sean's talking about, I think that they'll still hopefully be that. It really depends on who's still behind the scenes. Like we have to be clear about that. It's like, I don't know who the booking agents are necessarily. And these are the folks that make those decisions. Sean, what you were talking about, I think too, is just an evolution of the music industry in general, right? Is we had local promoters, we had Barry Fay, we had, you know, Doug Kaufman, nobody in particular presents. These were local bookers who were farming local acts, you know, like, and helping them build. I'm sure Devashka went through this a little bit too. Like, you build up your audience by playing local shows and opening those big shows.
Yeah, there's no doubt. And I think that's one of the complaints about UMS is that when you see it, kind of the seesaw is leaning more towards a national act. I mean, for my cousin who came in from Minneapolis, he was stoked because he's like, here's these 7 bands that I want to see. And I know these guys from LA. I know these guys from, you know, coming in from Atlanta or whatever. So he was stoked. And that's probably great for...
It sells tickets.
Sells tickets. It's good for tourism. There's like, that's great.
Yeah.
And these people who are investing so much money in it, it's terrifying. It's terrifying. So you're going to want to sell as many tickets as you can, and you need those names. And then from the band point of view, for the local bands, it's just like there's complaints every year because it's like, well, why, you know, this is supposed to be our space. So why are there so many national acts, you know? And I could see both sides of it because I think it's just, you know, you're thinking about how to get people there. And we watched that one festival, Tank, that was like all national acts.
Oh my God. There was
Grand Doozy. That's the one I'm thinking of.
Kendrick Lamar played. I
think
Stevie Wonder played. Yeah, it was crazy. But it was, I know it was a battle in first with the neighborhood of doing a festival in a space that's not generally, it's a golf course. Like, you know what I mean? But also, yeah, you're right. Like they clearly didn't make their money back. They didn't do it again.
Yeah.
And there's always, but I think that speaks to what you were talking about, Olivia, is like UMS has this rootedness that people, connect with Denver. And I wonder too, I think this is the conundrum for local acts in general, is getting people to your shows that don't know you. When you're not the draw, you're trying to create the fan base. It's hard. It's really hard. But UMS for a long time has been a great place for local acts to be able to start building that and get in front of those people that maybe won't go to their show on a Wednesday night at Globe Hall, but would walk by them at UMS and go, I want to go in and hear what that is.
That's what I've done like every year at UMS. Like I go to see the bands I'm going to see, which, are usually local or like friends bands. And then I like walk around and see what sounds cool and wander in. And I'm like, it's so fun to take, especially like taking friends who aren't as like tapped in. And I'm like, let's just like see where it takes us. Let's just go walk around. And I'm like, I don't have a plan. I'm just going.
I think it was good for me too, because, having kids, I don't get out as much. I try to, but UMS, I could have like, okay, here's these 6 bands that I've heard about, or then, hanging out with Greg or something, he'd say like, okay, well, you got to check these guys out and dip in, see 2 songs, split. I like that.
Yeah, I like that too. Less of a commitment than like going to a whole show or like a normal. I'm thinking about Outside Days,
which is coming
formerly Outside Fest, I believe. I think this is the 2nd or 3rd year. It's pretty new, but it's coming in May to Denver. And I mean, their headliner is Death Cab for Cutie. So, I mean, but it's just like interesting because like a festival like that kind of makes me feel like boxed in. You know, I'm there, I'm staying at it. But
Yeah, that's true.
South Broadway, I just and I could see this being the same for Rhino. I think it's kind of the spirit of UMS, just being able to like wander and like pop in, pop out, you know, just that was like really appealing to me as a festival goer, and like, you know, someone bringing friends who haven't been before. It's like we're not committed to staying if we don't like it, or if like we want to go see something else.
And that's sort of the South by Southwest model, or at least I have to be honest with you. I went to South by Southwest in 2007, so it's quite
so who
different.
knows?
But I remember you plotted out your whole day. There you have to be very strategic, though, because if it was someone that was really hot, like Amy Winehouse played that year.
Oh, wow.
And everywhere she played, you couldn't get in.
Yeah.
So you have to really plan and say, I'm going to try to see this act today. But the smaller acts, you could pop around and see a couple. And that's how UMS absolutely, I think, is part of its success.
Yeah, I might not be a good example of like a real festival goer, because
you're just a festival performer.
Yeah, like being a performer, it's like the idea of like, to me, the idea of like paying $200 over 2 days and like making a list of people that I had to see and find a good spot, like that gives me anxiety. Like there's no way I would want to do that now. And I know people, you know, like Jazz Fest in New Orleans, like people get really into it. They plan for months and they know they're going to see people there, and it's a thing.
It's a thing. It doesn't know. I think the second to last year of UMS, I had like a plan and like a list of all the places I was going to go. And then I went and saw the first band and I was like, oh man, my tummy hurts.
Yeah.
So I gotta go home. And then, so I saw one band at UMS and I had like the whole weekend planned, and then I got a stomach bug and had to go home. And I was like, well, I'm glad that this is just like, you know, I live down the street, you know, like I'm glad that I didn't fly in somewhere and then just like get it ruined. Like that's the beauty of the local fest, because I'm like, yeah, I'm missing out on the stuff I wanted to see, but at least I'm not like stranded somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's there are really two kinds of festivals. They're the kind that you lock in with. It's maybe a destination. Although I think UMS has been a destination for some folks too. I think especially if you live in surrounding places like Wyoming and stuff, like you're going to come down for the weekend and stay. But
will these new owners want to make it that?
That's a really great question.
Rhino is like really the vibe is that they're really trying to grow their like tourism and visitation and stuff. So I would think they would really be trying to get people to come in and like stay in their hotels and like go to their little bars and stuff and like, you know, come see acts in galleries. I could totally see this. Like I think that's probably why they invested in this, because they're like, they see it as a growth opportunity. That's kind of my guess on it.
Yeah, I think too a lot about a music festival like Treefort in Boise, Idaho. It grew over the years, but a huge part of the help was the city was bought in. The city was invested in it. And I watched Boise in the area, at least where the festival was taking place, which was similar to a UMS. It was a wandering festival. I watched that area grow and change over 10 years just from being there for the festival. Hotels got upgrades, like spaces that were empty warehouses where shows were happening became full-on businesses. Like it can be a economic driver. And I think that's a good question. Is that what the Rhino Business Improvement District sees this for? Because, I mean, Westward Music Showcase moved down to Rhino and then we never saw it again. So I thought, is
this the end?
Is this the end?
Maybe this is redemption arc? I don't know.
There was a really interesting quote from Florel Vidres. The festival was in her district. She's District 7, so it was in South Broadway. And she said, this used to be a more community-based underground type of music showcase, and that has been watered down over the years. And I think the move to a gentrified area with Patagonia stores is ultimately leaving behind what truly once was.
You know, we were just at Sundance, and that obviously has these, you know, grassroots. When I don't know when Sundance started, late 70s.
Yeah, it's been going for a long time.
And it was so corporate. Like, I wonder if UMS is going to try and like copy that and like try to grab some of the same, you know, same kind of attention that like Sundance coming to Boulder would. Whereas like we were walking around and there was like, you know, this Dropbox pop up and like, you know, like
Nightmare.
yeah, like a Lexus after party, like those were like everything was branded like that, down to, and this was kind of crazy, down to like even the Little Miss Sunshine van, which we wanted to go take a photo of. They had these like little trinkets and stuff, and they're like, well, you know, in order to take a trinket, you have to make a post. We're like, okay, cool. And then
You're like, do you know,
Yeah,
friends,
yeah.
but do you know who we are?
and then someone was
deleting
like, yeah, you know, these guys did the soundtrack. Oh yeah, okay, cool. So you're gonna have to make a post.
That's why you get the burner account.
You're like, no,
Yeah.
we're the band that made the soundtrack, and the
Yeah.
van
To
is
be
like,
fair, though, I'm thinking about like her comment on, you know, moving to this like gentrified area and stuff. And it's like, well, like, I mean, kind of the beauty of music is trying to get more ears on it and like having it accessible to more people. And like, I don't know. I feel like I hate to be like, no, like we need to keep it super underground and like hard for people to find and stuff. And it's like, you know, if it becomes more corporate a little bit, I would hope that like artists would get paid better and like, you know, there would be more resources and stuff. And I would hope that like that would give local acts more of a chance to, you know, go national and get more attention.
And if you look at it from like, imagine like the small film going to Sundance mentality, like, you know, to make some kind of connection there, like if Patagonia like liked your film because it had good things to say about the outdoors and wanted to give you $1 million,
That would be sick.
Exactly.
That would be so cool.
Right.
Like like you don't want like I think that would be so cool. And like, I don't know, the finance bros in Rhino, like they should get to hear good music too. Like, I don't know, like why are we keeping it from them? Like, I know it's kind of a weird move, but like music's for everyone. I don't know. That's just kind of my mindset on it. And like, I know people have a lot of strong feelings about the area, and there's like a lot of fraught history there.
for absolutely
And
good
I
reasons.
think that like we can't ignore that. But also I think we got to think about the people that live there now and like what's going on there now. And there's like a lot of young people, a lot of newcomers to the city. And like, it's a really cool opportunity to get to like introduce to them these like local acts, this music, this like tradition of this festival. It's like it's a cool opportunity. And I mean, I don't know. I'm just trying to think of that aspect of it where it could be really good.
Yeah, I feel the floor way about this, but I also understand the reality of it. And as a person that produced a DIY music festival in the area that people call Rhino, I think we did it in that area for most of the first decade of it. It was incredibly hard to get people to a warehouse on Brighton Boulevard in 2011, you know.
Yes.
But we also refused corporate sponsorship. We refused actually any sponsorship, and it was completely community run. But our purpose was different. We couldn't pay bands as much. We paid them out of what we made at the door. We didn't pay ourselves. I mean, that's the other thing, is none of us were making any money. It's a very different animal. But there was a magic to that. But I would also say, if you are that person that wants that festival, you can make that festival too. So this festival can still continue and move and become something new. And if you loved what was happening on South Broadway, start another one. There's always room for more, I think, is the important thing to think about, is like, make the thing you want to see. If you really are upset about something being lost or taken, make the thing that you want.
Absolutely.
You know? And
Absolutely.
it's hard. It's expensive. But I am thinking about this corporate, like you're explaining with Sundance, Sean. I think that's also kind of the grumbles about South by Southwest, is like, oh, cool, I'm going to go see Katy Perry on the Doritos stage or whatever. Like, this was a place where not just local acts got discovered. Acts from all over the country came to get discovered.
We like to joke like that. It's like, you know, the jump the shark moment is, you know, Iron Maiden at the Comfort Dental Amphitheater. It's like, you think Bruce Dickinson is like, yay, like, sponsored by dentists.
I mean, like, it's different for Iron Maiden, but like, if a small local band got to play on the Comfort Dental stage, I would hope that would mean they are getting paid more, because like the reality is local acts are not getting enough money to live. Right. Like the vast majority of them. And like
every musician I know.
If they could, like, if the people working the door, if the people organizing the festival, if they could get paid money to actually live in Denver, where it is very expensive to live, that's a win to me. I think that's cool. And like, I hope that can happen, you know, if that change happens. Like, I hope that the wealth is not hoarded. You know what I mean? Like, I hope that any corporatization would actually benefit the people creating the art.
Yeah, I do. Something too I want to talk about, Olivia, is different for your generation than for Sean and I think is I mean, 20 years ago, it was like credibility suicide to sell your music.
Yeah.
It was like, oh my God, I heard this band's song in this commercial, they're dead to me. Like, it's a very 90s attitude.
Yeah.
And it's changed.
It's dated.
It's so dated because, again, it's like selling out is not a concept when capitalism exists. Like, you can't.
It is so hard to live, Like, it is so expensive to live.
Yeah.
And
Band of Horses was like the first band that I remember distinctly, because we had like a McDonald's commercial approach us. We had said no, and then shortly after, Band of Horses had this song on a Walmart ad, and at the time, like, Walmart was more evil than, like, it was
any
like 3
company.
times more evil than Amazon.
Mhm.
And so people were like, yeah, what the fuck? And I remember the singer was quoted saying, like, we are trying our best to, like, make this thing work. It doesn't work in the current iteration. It doesn't work. And I don't even know what year this was. Maybe 06 or something.
Yeah. But
no, 05 or like.
But I mean, when has the music industry worked for musicians? Not that often.
Yeah. And he was just like, this is one way we can make it work. And, like, do you think anyone, like, the next record, like, turned their back on that band and said, I'm not going to buy that record? Not a single person.
No, they probably got more fans from it because their exposure was wider.
Yeah. If you get like the earworm from a commercial, I'm like, I'm going to go look that. What is that band?
Yeah. We had a Gears of War trailer hit us up for a song, and I didn't really have an opinion. I was, like, neutral on it either way. And, super violent video game, like pays for this song and
For a Devotchka song.
Yeah, and
Nice.
it worked amazing. It's a really beautiful piece. It's a beautiful trailer, and there's people still coming. Like, we just played in Brighton in the UK, and this guy came after the show, and he said, I discovered you through Gears of War.
Oh,
and
that's so cool.
Yeah, and he's just like, I've loved your guys' stuff ever since.
Oh.
And it's like, okay, well, there's
Reaching a different audience through a different, like, medium platform.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, I don't know, as this relates to the festival. I don't know what we don't know what we're
We don't know.
going to see, but I would expect more corporations getting involved.
That's what I
Which,
would-
again, it comes down to money. And I think that was a big struggle for the festival in general. And, I mean, post-COVID, it's been difficult. It's been really difficult. And if you can't at least make your money back, and I don't think they did last year. I think they said they spent $2 million and made back 1.5. It's tough.
Yeah.
It's really tough. Well, remains to be seen. We'll see how it goes. It's this July, so we'll find out firsthand. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, it's all about downtown. This episode is brought to you by Denver Health. February is Heart Month, and at Denver Health, heart rhythm care is becoming safer and less invasive. Heart rhythm problems like atrial fibrillation, ventricular tachycardia, sudden cardiac arrest, or heartbeats that are too slow can affect your health and quality of life. Denver Health provides advanced treatment for patients with irregular heart rhythms, and their team offers safe, effective, and compassionate care to help patients live a healthier life. Cardiologists on the cardiac electrophysiology team are now using leadless pacemakers to treat dangerous pauses in the heartbeat. Unlike traditional pacemakers, these tiny devices sit completely inside the heart. There are no wires and no surgical pockets under the skin. This means a smoother procedure and fewer potential complications, which can make a big difference for patients. Denver Health works closely with every patient to create a personalized plan that meets their needs, focusing on safety, comfort, and long-term results. Learn more at denverhealth.org/EP. That's denverhealth.org/EP. We're back downtown. a constant source of anxiety for this city. I want to start with a fun. There was a couple stories about downtown this week, but I want to start with a fun one. We have a second-time mayoral candidate, Aurelio Martinez, running again. And he has some big ideas to fix downtown. Denverite spoke with him earlier this week. Kyle Harris did, our friend of the show. Aurelio said he wants to make downtown more like Las Vegas. And by that, he means creating, quote, a Hollywood-style Colorado Walk of Stars downtown, a zip line down the 16th Street Mall, and a sky drop from the Republic Plaza, which is the tallest building downtown. Sean is turning us into Las Vegas, bringing people back downtown.
Oh, that's a really good question. I mean, what do people really like about Vegas? I mean, unless you bring that in, then
I can see Jodeci for 2 nights.
Well, I was gonna say if we get some little like outdoor like slot machines,
outdoor slot machines,
ding, 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 on the 16th
being able to
Street.
walk down the street with a hurricane in your hand.
Yes, I've been saying that. Let me drink on the 16th Street Mall.
They're working. They're working.
I want
on
the
it
whole
a
mall
bit.
open. I want the whole mall, no limitations.
So Sean,
I'm from the Midwest.
these big blingy ideas are maybe not necessarily what would make the Vegas-y part so appealing.
Well, they're like the spice. I mean, you got to think about like what's the main course. Like people are there to gamble,
yeah,
and see some shows and drink and like party.
I want a good buffet too.
There you go.
Burlesque dancers like on the street posing so you can take pictures with them.
Yeah, that's something we don't have. You're right. We don't have the photo ops that like Times Square and
Robo
Vegas
Mike,
have.
bring him back.
Yeah.
Bring him back.
Yeah.
I think the zip line. I am really intrigued by the zip line. I'm not gonna lie to you, because also, where would it go? Could this be a hack for commuting if you need to get like, oh no, I have a meeting on the other side of downtown.
This is like that guy's gondola idea.
Yeah, but the zip line's way cooler because you're just like flying through the air. And also it makes me think, I don't know if you guys have seen the videos of like those they're like indoor adventure park kind of things, and they sometimes have like an indoor zip line thing that goes around the ceiling, and there's all these videos of teenagers doing it where they just make their whole body go limp so they just look like a corpse flying around up there. And I'm like, that would be so funny. Just like flopping around on the like downtown zip line. Like Do Better Denver would eat that up. They'd be like, look what happened.
Yeah.
Well,
I can visualize that.
Yeah.
Vegas, at least the old Vegas strip on Fremont Street, has like the enclosure, and then they have, it's like you can kind of do a zip line across the top. I watched my siblings do it. I did not do it. And they loved it. So maybe could be the thing. He mentions too, though, he does think dancers, magicians, and other buskers would be good. We already have some busking. It's like you have to get a
very
license.
Permitted. You got to
It's
display
very
your
permitted,
permit.
yeah. Which I think if they just loosen that a little bit, that might also help. It's just getting more musicians and artists downtown in a more organic way.
Yeah, and then we could get some real weirdos down there. That's what I like. People doing like the guy that spray paints himself gold and just like leans.
Yeah, for sure.
Some of that I would like, or just like the statue people. Like I want some of that whimsy, or the people like I'm thinking about in Europe when the guys come up to you with the like wooden baskets and they're trying to get you to buy them. They're like, look, and just like doing it in your face.
Well, I think what he's saying is like cart before the horse, though, because like the only reason that you see this juggler at like, I-25 in Alameda is because you've got a 90-second light and
you have an audience.
You have an audience.
I love watching that.
And it's fun to watch.
That.
I hate it. It gives me so much anxiety.
Why?
Because I don't trust people in their cars.
If you run over a juggler, you're going straight to hell.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. Like
you are
that
going
is
straight to hell.
That is like you're cursed. That it's like the one person you can't run over. The guy having whimsy and fun.
And I will say,
you're done.
I was a hater for a while because like I thought, can we let the folks washing windows make that money? But a very nice listener wrote in and was like, hey, my friend is one of these guys and he's an artist.
Trained.
And this is how he makes his income. And I was like, you're right, he's an artist.
They like have to learn that skill.
He happily would go to 16th Street Mall if there was
people,
if there was the traffic,
if there was the captive audience to give you some money.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is interesting. This is calling into question is like, are these things going to be the draw, or are these things that come after? He also mentioned, he claimed at some point in the 16th Street Mall's history, it had the largest Wendy's in the world. I grew up here and I don't know I don't remember.
I would like to say that the largest Wendy's in the world currently is in the country of Georgia. I did look that up. So we don't even have it in the United States, which is hilarious.
Would that be a draw for you? A large pick your favorite fast food chain?
Pick my favorite? I mean, I don't know. I'm not really dining in. I'm better than that. No, but like I'm not really going in necessarily, but like I don't know. I mean, I've never seen the world's largest Wendy's. If it was really sick, maybe I would make a habit of it. Every Thursday we go get some nuggets and a Frosty.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not mad at that. It'd be like we need some more accessible food downtown.
Yeah, I mean that's the
stuff is expensive.
We've talked about this a lot.
Could it be like a themed Wendy's, like a Stranger Things themed Wendy's or something?
I would go to a themed thing.
Okay.
Absolutely. Or like I talked to a restaurant architect earlier this week, and we were talking about the experiences of a restaurant, and there's all this nostalgia for old fast food joints.
Put a giant vintage Pizza Hut in there.
Oh my
with
god,
the chandeliers.
What was that pizza place that with the clown on Alameda?
Oh, Organ Grinder.
Yeah, the Organ Grinder. I missed that when I got here in the 90s, but
so everybody's dressed like barbershop quartet people. They had like suspenders and bow ties, and it had a giant organ inside of it. It was it was that era of themed pizza restaurants.
Yeah.
It was incredible. If they could recreate that exactly, 100%.
Or just like plop a Rainforest Cafe just down in the middle of the 16th Street.
I think that they're bringing back. I feel like there's some newer. I went to the Rainforest Cafe in the Mall of America, and it was like kind of busted. And
I mean,
really
it sucks because we're losing our bid for it because we took off the word mall. So now Rainforest Cafe is not even going to look twice at us. They're gonna be like, "You're not a mall. Sorry, like we're not interested." So that sucks.
Yeah.
Casa Bonita, Satellite.
I like that idea.
That would be tough.
With like a faster service, like, you know, it's not as
fast casual Casa Bonita.
Yes, fast casual Casa Bonita, where everybody's still like doing all the acts and stuff, and like all the whimsy is still happening, but like you're just in and out fast.
What about like a burrito bazooka? That you could just order Casa Bonita and like run down the street and catch your burrito.
Yeah, but the person shooting it has to be in the gorilla suit.
Oh, yeah.
I think this is, too, where the open container situation would be really helpful. You can get a crazy drink at Casa Bonita Part 2 on the mall and walk out and wander with it.
And it's got to have a ridiculous... It's like the Casa Bonita... They're going to steal this idea. And then I'd be like, oh, copyright, or whatever you say. It's shaped like the pink Casa Bonita building, and it's a cup with a straw
I would
at
buy
the
that,
top.
and I don't drink alcohol. I would buy that and fill it with Coke.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's my idea.
That's a good one.
I'm telling you, they're going to steal that.
Okay, so a hurricane cup, Casa Bonita style, and a burrito bazooka.
Yes.
That's all you need.
No, I mean, that would get me. And also, like, I don't know. I'm trying to think about, the problem is like getting down there. I mean, like, maybe this is gonna sound like so lazy, but like, you know, if I'm taking the train down there, maybe just like a little like golf cart from the light rail to the like main area.
Yeah,
it's like because like
or a people mover.
I mean, like that was the gondola guys. That was a gondola guy's idea, but like. On a nice day, the walk is fine, but like when it's like kind of cold and you're trying to get further downtown, it's like, and if the wind's blowing in your face because you're like a wind tunnel between the buildings from Union Station to like further downtown, it sucks. But if there was like a little golf cart, you like tip them $5. I guess there's the petty cabs. Get over there, guys, and stop charging me $400.
Well, another story this week was that office vacancies are still extremely high downtown, over 38% compared to 12% in Cherry Creek, if that says anything about where folks are officing. But one of the bigger issues was there were 3 buildings planned for conversion from offices to apartments. And one of those buildings, the building was foreclosed on. So that is no longer happening. Olivia, if living downtown was affordable and available to you, would that be, I mean, you're someone that lives kind of in the burbs-ish. Would you be enticed to move downtown?
Maybe. It depends. Like, my thing with these office conversions is like, mainly the thing I don't like about offices is the space and like the building, and like living in that doesn't sound nice. And like, I don't know. I'm just thinking some of the things I like about my apartment is I like having a balcony. Like having a little outdoor space is nice for me, and like you're not really going to get that on a converted office building.
True.
And then
To be fair, this one that was foreclosed on was a 1909 building. So we're talking about a cool older brick
I do
structure.
love an old building. And one of the other things, like as someone that has a car, is like figuring out where to put it downtown, and like
Yeah.
it's just that's kept me from pursuing wanting to live downtown, because like I don't know where I'm gonna put it. Like I would love to be somewhere walkable and like be able to, but like the fact of the matter is I do have a car. And like, where am I going to put it if there's not? And like, the thing is, they're like, oh yeah, we have parking. That'll be $300 a month. I'm like, what?
Could you do like San Francisco and just like, do like have a rental,
Like a zip car or
zip
something?
car? Could
But
you,
what am
like,
I going to do with
switch
my
to-
current car?
Yeah, that's the key, I guess.
I got to get rid of it.
Maybe.
Take it back to Kansas, dump it at your parents' house.
Mm,
Sell it?
I don't know.
You could sell it and then
But
just
the problem
be
is, I enjoy being able to like go up to the foothills, and like there's stuff I like to do in my car. Go to the mountains, go camping.
Yeah, I think
and
you are not alone in that.
I
Sure.
think that a lot of people, based on the amount of people I see driving in cars, it's like there's a purpose for it. There's a reason I have it.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know if it was really cheap to live downtown. Like maybe I could splurge on parking. I would like a cool old building. I love old architecture. So maybe, and if there was like a really nice coffee shop underneath and like some amenities, but that's usually not like old builds. That's usually like the new ugly buildings. They're like, let me put like retail underneath. So I don't know. It's kind of split for me.
Sean, you're a North Sider.
Yeah.
What do you think about, would you live downtown?
Yeah, I would love to.
Yeah?
Yeah, I like getting around on bike and foot and walking my dog, and it'd be amazing to like go downstairs to a coffee shop, then go back upstairs
Yeah.
and then read the paper.
You get the paper?
I don't know. I just thought
It's like,
that was
wow.
Read the paper on your phone.
in my mind there was an actual paper that I was.
Love that. Maybe they sell it at the coffee shop.
Yes.
Do you think your kids would be into it?
Yeah, I do.
I think so too.
I think they totally would.
I think my family would love that. The
as long-
walkability part would be cool.
It'd be
Yeah,
nice.
it would be cool. I mean, I can't think of like where you actually go. I guess you could play by like the dancing aliens at the DCPA.
It does need more parks. I think.
There
Yeah.
isn't a whole lot of green,
Yes.
but you can get to. Yeah, I mean, you can go uptown. You can get to Cheeseman, or you can get to City Park.
But I think you're right. I think, and that has been something that's been discussed. We still have a ton of parking lots. Could we make some of those green spaces?
Mhm.
I thought about that too. I think that would make a huge difference. But my neighborhood, notoriously, the only thing I don't like about it is the busy streets and the fact that
Yeah.
my kid can't ride his bike around the block.
Yeah,
But I think that might be an opportunity downtown. If
it's like in New York. I mean, last time I was walking around, it was like 9:00 and cold, and there was these giant lights like these on this like soccer pitch, and it was packed.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
there was probably like 6 of them, and it was like Houston Street area, and it was packed, and there was kids of all ages at 9 p.m.
I love that.
And that was like, that seemed pretty simple.
Yeah.
I mean, like you just gotta flatten the dirt.
Yeah.
That'd be doable.
Yeah, I think so too. I think that would be a huge thing. And I think too, it would just like change the way people view how they utilize downtown. Because right now it's still very car centric. And I think that could be a big switch. Well, we'll be watching that. We're going to take a quick break, one more break, and we'll come back with our wins and fails of the week. All right, we're back. It's time for our Rocky Mountain highs and lows, our wins and fails of the week. We'll start with fails so we can end on a good note. Olivia, what's your fail this week?
My fail is that Denver Parks and Rec is planning to take over the bike and boat rentals at Wash Park and City Park. And that is going to cause the guy who has been doing this, a longtime private operator, to close his doors. And his business is called Wheel Fun Rentals.
And he's been
Wheel Fun.
Real fun.
I saw an interview with him. He's like been trying to
20
sell off all the boats because
Yes, so
he
I
can't
was-
store them anywhere.
I was going to say that. So he's got the boathouse is like full of these swan boats and the little peddler things. And they're like, what day did they say? I think they said you got to get them out by Friday.
They gave him like not that much time.
Because he tried to sell them to the city because he's got, a shit ton of these. Like, what the hell are you going to do with this stuff? But so he's like,
why didn't they just buy the whole business?
They
from
asked him to. They asked the city to, and they said no. They were buying their own boats. They bought new pink
man.
swans, and so I found
really where'd that budget come from?
I found the link on Facebook Marketplace to all the swans this guy is selling, but you have to buy them in units of 10 or more. So if 9 other people would like to go in with me on a swan boat.
So if you got a swan boat and then had like your swan boat club, and then we're like, well, we're going to say.
We trailer it to the lake.
We're going to say we're going to Sloan's Lake this week.
It would just start dragging on the bottom.
It's
too shallow.
Oh, you're right. I just learned about how shallow it is. I was
It's
so
very
depressed.
shallow.
Okay.
They would
But like you could be like, hey, we're driving up to Evergreen and we're going to go do the swan boat up in Evergreen.
you get, like,
Swan Boat Club.
You'd be a swan boat club.
and we get matching flags and
for
fly the
sure.
flag. Fly a pirate
It's
flag
like
off
a
the back.
motorcycle club, but with swan boats.
It's way harder than a motorcycle club if you think about it.
'Cause you
Like
have to-
me and the guys in the swan boats, we trailer them to the lake. Like, it's way cooler and way tougher. So
My
shoot,
dream
but then-
would be
but then for-
Lakeside's Lake.
okay,
Yeah.
we could
They
take them
could-
there.
They could fix this old
We just gotta wait
speedboat
till
dock.
Could do
what,
it- could do it at
Rhoda's not
Lakeside.
looking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could put wheels on it for the Halloween parade.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
And then like you'd be the swan boat club could roll down the
Oh,
street.
This is a great idea.
Okay, I want it
Okay.
at least 9 people.
Just
let
9
me-
people.
Let me know.
That's all we need.
We can get them. That would be so fun. But yeah, so the fail is that this guy is losing his business, and the city just seemed really unsympathetic to this, which is a bummer. And it's always sad when a small business loses out because of,
I watched
bigger.
Parks and Rec do this with the youth boxing program at 20th Street Gym, and it made me very bitter about the fact that this one coach, Baca, has been running this program for years and years and years. He's an old boxer from back in the day when Denver was really known for that. And they just cut his program and sent him on his way. And he was
Also-
like, I still have all these kids.
I know.
that
Well,
wanna
also
come."
this guy just spent a bunch of money resurfacing the docks.
That's what I read.
And like
so they're
he,
getting a nice dock.
he just did that. So it's a bummer to see. So
Feels like,
it's a fail for me.
feels like very unfortunate timing. Sean, what's your fail?
I don't have. I don't know how specific. I guess I was thinking about this. I was talking to my wife last night, and she immediately thought of this. I said, "Oh yeah, that's probably what I consider a fail." I don't know if it's timely to this week, but the concept, especially in my neighborhood, where the schools become dog parks on days off and like after school, and it's not even like because there's a lack of dog parks.
Yeah.
It's just this strange mentality of like, it's like it's the equivalent of like a dog peeing on something, being like, I'm claiming this area with my retriever.
And I imagine they're peeing on the
Oh yeah,
playgrounds
it's like,
and the play area for kids.
but it's just it's a big fail because there's like these giant signs. I know seems petty of me, but it's like the city actually paid money to build these like new parks, and they're close enough.
Yeah.
And still, you're like, their signs are saying like, this is a public school, keep your dog out of here. And it's like, I don't know. It's just,
I also just don't trust that people pick up their dog poop.
they don't.
So
Oh my God, stepping in dog poop at recess.
Can you imagine?
Ruin your day.
Yeah.
Ruin your day. That happened a couple of times when I was in elementary school. They just make the kid take off their shoes, which is gross.
Yeah. This is a weird mentality split though, because I think the people doing it are like, oh, it's no big deal. It's like, yeah, but
but kids do need those when they're in school. They want to play on a safe, clean playground. I
sure.
would imagine. Ugh, ugh, ugh. Well, my field this week goes to Loft 9 Apartments, apartment management consultants, and Tryon Properties, who are the owners and managers of the Raven apartment complex in Southeast Denver. A class action lawsuit has been brought by tenants that allege they've been paying rent to deal with hot water and heat outages, roach and bedbug infestations, overflowing trash, and the worst part, a carcass of a dead dog
Oh,
decaying
man.
in an
God.
abandoned swimming pool at this apartment complex. So, I mean, I feel for these tenants for so many reasons, but I can't imagine having to deal with that and like your management company not addressing something as horrifying as a deceased animal in your pool.
Damn.
So gross.
Terribly. That's That's awful. That just makes
Awful.
me feel so much anger for those people. It's also such a helpless feeling when your apartment will not listen to you. And this is not even the same scale at all, but I've had a wasp problem in my apartment, and I've reported it probably 4 times, and they just send some dude out with a can of Raid and like spray it, and I'm like, there's clearly like a nest in the walls or something, like
Yeah,
you need to fix this,
absolutely.
and they just don't do anything. So the only thing I could think to do was I started collecting the bodies of the wasps and putting them in a bag, and I've convinced myself that someday I'm gonna go to just like drop it off at the leasing center and be like, fix it, here's a bag of wasps. But it sucks to feel so helpless, you know,
Yeah.
when you're, because I'm sure those people are actively trying, like, please fix this, please fix this. And
Yeah, they
just
put in time. That was what the
it
story
sucks.
said. They had put in
it's a terrible
dozens
feeling.
and dozens of complaints and made
It
the
really
tickets done the
sucks.
official route to say, hey, we're having these issues.
And then they
have
still
not
have
been
to pay
addressed.
rent. You still have to pay your effing rent, which
Yeah.
is so infuriating. I'm like, what am I paying for?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Awful. All right, well, let's go to wins. I'll start. A proposal is passed through a city council committee and will go to full council for a vote to ban masks on law enforcement agents in the street. So this is an attempt by city council to address this issue that I think cities, particularly Minneapolis, we know have been watching, seeing these masked law enforcement, ICE in some cases, just totally brutalizing communities. And we don't know who these people are. They're not identifying themselves. And this is just one step towards maybe protecting Denverites who ICE is still here, by the way, just so everyone knows. I follow the Colorado Rapid Response Network, and they document these instances. And there have been ICE pickups in my neighborhood for months. So this is just one step, hopefully, to keep citizens a little bit safer. We'll see when it goes to council, but yeah, just hope for the best there. Sean, what's your win?
Another one that doesn't necessarily pertain to this week, but I did do it this week. I went to La Plaza for the first time.
Oh, yeah.
And on Colfax. It's kind of
In Aurora?
In Aurora near Children's.
Yeah.
And it was just wild. It was awesome.
It's like an indoor market.
It's an indoor market. And then there was like, this whole Pokemon trading thing going on in the back. And there must have been like 50 vendors. And they do it all the time. And shout out to La Plaza because it was like, there was, we tried one restaurant. It was really good. And then like I turned the corner. There was like this noodle filled burrito, like Korean hybrid type of thing. I was like, I got to come back here. So that was discovered this week by me and the kids.
And you can take your kids.
Yeah.
And they can act a fool and it doesn't bother anybody, which is, I've had an opposite experience recently where I was like, my child is annoying everyone in this restaurant.
People don't mind that as much as you think. They really don't.
It depends. I mean, we were getting some real
Depends on the setting.
stares.
As someone with no children, I'm like, I love kids, but like sometimes I'm like, why is there a kid here? Like,
Which is like why like the Plaza or like Stanley Marketplace and Edgewater, we love those because the kids can really kind of go crazy.
Mm-hmm.
That reminds me, I went to Levin Supply for the first time. The Levin Deli Outpost in Wash Park. They have pizza there. I hadn't had their pizza before. The service was amazing. Yes. Everybody was so nice.
They got lots of nice little things.
They have so many little
olive oil, little tinned
like
stuff,
roasted nuts, and different kinds of like beers. And I had a Mexican Coke. It's
very fast stuff.
It was lovely. So Levin Supply, you're doing a great job. Thank you so much. Okay, Olivia.
My win pertains to bird shit. And in the realm of I've just been noticing like a lot of bird poop downtown. Like
I
just
have
like
too.
A lot of spots of bird poop, like massive like
there'll be
arsenal,
a tree,
like
and then
like,
there's just
like
full. The
it's
street is covered.
Been devastated by bird poop, and I'm like, they're really out here with the nuts and seeds diet. But I was thinking about it, but then I went on the Denver subreddit and I saw someone being like, what is with all the bird crap? And somebody linked to this Denverite story from earlier this year. It is actually the annual like time where the crow migration. We have a shit ton of crows that are here in downtown and are just hanging out places and pooping a lot because they're just like what is it? A Murder of Crows. That's
Yeah,
their group.
that's it.
And they all hang out together. But the win is, I mean, crows are really cool because they're highly like trainable and intelligent, and you can form a bond with them. And I'm like, I feel like we should be using these crows to our advantage. Like, why don't we start like a little crow army kind of thing? Like, get these, they're talking about like downtown safety, all this stuff. But I'm like, why aren't we utilizing our resources of a huge band of crows?
Yeah.
Nothing is more terrifying.
Train them, to deter crime. Like, train them, you just got to become allies with them. I don't know. I just think crows are cool. They also like trinkets like me. And I just like that they're here. And I think that there's like a big opportunity.
Bird shit be damned.
I don't care. Everybody be pooping. So like, I just think we need to like respect these crows and form a relationship with them.
I like this style of community policing. Just organizing
crows.
Crows.
A friend of mine he's a violin maker and bow maker in the clock tower, and they say that there's like a certain hour where they just kind of spin around like it's a Tim Burton movie or something.
Yeah, well, I mean, especially if he's making violins in there and there's crows circling, like
how much more goth can you get?
Oh yeah, that's cinematic as hell.
Yeah,
that's amazing. Yeah, I remember. I feel like Jeremy Hohola did a video last year about because people were just seing these.
They are
groups
everywhere
of crows downtown,
and I really like it, and I think they're cool, and I think that they could be our friends and be on our side. So, don't complain about the bird poop. Be happy the crows are here. That's my win.
Well, that's it. Olivia, Sean, thank you so much. This was really fun.
Thank you for having me. Happy Friday.
Thank you.
That's all for today here on CityCast Denver. Our producers this week were Paul Caroli, Olivia Jewelove, Adrian Gonzalez, and Natalie Rivera. We record at Dude IDK Studios in 5 Points with support from Jacob Rupp and Nick Holmby. Peyton Garcia and Natalia Aldana write our morning newsletter. Abby Madigan runs our social media. I'm Bree Davies, your host. Our music is by Los Mocochetes with additional mixing by Tyler Lindgren. If you haven't already, subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. Follow us on Instagram at CityCast Denver and tell mayoral candidate Aurelio Martinez about us next time you see him. And hey, thanks to our new neighbor, Kara VS, who just joined our membership program. You can support this show and get great perks by becoming a CityCast Denver neighbor today at membership.citycast.fm. You can sign up for our daily newsletter and learn more about us at denver.citycast.fm. See you next week. Done. Dunzo. All right.
You guys are edit style, right? You don't just like let it roll.
We're gonna let it roll.
Oh.
We had fun.
No, we let the Friday shows roll.
That's true. I guess you don't do
you?
much.
We'll edit out this pause, but like we pretty much let it roll.
Yeah.
All right.